Here is a question nobody asks out loud. Where do you belong when you were born in one country, raised in another, and the whole world is watching you decide? Most people never have to answer that. Jamal Musiala answered it at 16 years old, in front of two national football federations, in front of his family, in front of himself. And the answer he gave is still echoing through every stadium he walks into. This is the roadmap of Jamal Musiala, not a story about records or trophies, a story about a boy who had to figure out who he was before the world decided for him. Germany, June 26, 2003. Jamal Musiala is born. His father is British Nigerian, his mother is German. He is born in Germany, but at age 7, the family moves to Southampton, England. A new country, a new school, a new language to learn in the playground. Most 7 years old would struggle. Jamal just played football. Because on a football pitch, it doesn't matter where you are from. It only matters what you do with the football. At 8 years old, Chelsea Academy spotted him. The best youth system in England. He walked in. He belonged. By the time he was 14, the England youth system was calling his name. He played for England at youth level. He was on track to become an English international. And then everything shifted. In 2019, at 16 years old, he left Chelsea. He left England. He moved back to Germany, to Bayern Munich, back to the country he was born in, but had to live in since he was 7. Now came the question that everybody and nobody could answer for him. England had watched him grow up. Germany had watched him arrive. Which flag was his? At 16, he barely spoke German. His accent was English. His friends were English. His football education was English. But something pulled him towards Germany. Something deeper than football. Something in the place he was born. He chose Germany, and England lost. What would become one of the most gifted players of his generation? They call him Bambi at Bayern Munich because of the way he moved, light, fast, slightly unpredictable, like a young deer on a pitch, changing directions. Before you even registered, he would move. He was 17 years old when he made his senior debut for Bayern. By 18, he was holding records in the Champions League. By 19, he was the first player born in 2003 to score in competition. By 20, he had more Bundesliga goals than any teenagers in Bayern history. And those dribbles in Germany, opening match at the 2022 World Cup, Jamal Musiala attempted more dribble than any teenagers in World Cup history. Not just Germany teenagers, not just that tournament, in the World Cup history. He was 19 years old. At Euro 2024, the tournament in Germany, on home soil, he was the best player on the pitch in almost every game he played. Defenders couldn't catch him. Coaches couldn't plan for him. Because he improvised in real time, he made decisions that hadn't been invented yet. And now, at the 2026 World Cup, he is 23 years old, and he is the most mentioned player on social media in 1 week. Not Messi, not Ronaldo, not Haaland, Jamal Musiala. Boy who moved between two countries at 7, who chose a flag at 16, who was called Bambi because he moved like something wild and beautiful. He didn't become a weapon despite his upbringing. He became one because of it. Because growing up between two worlds, meaning you belong to neither completely, and that means nobody can predict you. Defenders study players who came from one place. They have mental blueprints. Jamal Musiala was assembled from too many places for any blueprint to hold. People still ask the question, is he English or is he German? But the question is wrong. He is the boy from Stuttgart who grew up in Southampton. He is the Chelsea Academy kid who chose Bayern Munich. He is the English accent that speaks German in the national team huddle. He is all of it. And when he puts on that Germany jersey, he is not choosing against England. He is choosing towards something, toward the country where he was born, toward the route his mother gave him, towards a version of himself that he decided on at an age when most teenagers are still deciding what subject to study. The roadmap of Jamal Musiala is not about football, not really. It is about the moment every person faces at 16 or 30 or 50, when two paths stand in front of you and the world is waiting to see which one you choose. And the lesson is not which path he chose. The lesson is how he chose. He didn't choose the easy one. He didn't choose the one the world expected. He chose the one that was his. And then he became so good at walking it that world had no choice but to follow. Not everyone will be the most mentioned player at World Cup. Not everyone will hold records in competition they are still too young for. But everyone faces the moment when two roads split. And the only question that matters is, which one is actually yours? This was Jamal Musiala, written in 2 languages, signed in one jersey, built from everything he is, not despite where he came from, but because of all of it. And somewhere out there right now, somewhere watching this, is something between 2 versions of themselves. Choose, then run. Subscribe, the next roadmap drops soon. Have a nice day.